Ready to manifest the money, business, and life of your dreams? Do you wish you had more ease and flow in your business, your finances, your relationships, and everything else? There's a way to manifest simply, easily, and effectively without exhaustion, and I'm here to show you how. Hey there, I'm Elise McDowell, money mindset mentor and seven-figure CEO. And in this podcast, I will teach you how to reshape your money mindset, manifest consistent money, increase your business sales, transform your self-concept, and create the life of your dreams through the power of your mind. I'm here to help you go all in on you so you can go big in everything you're here to do. Let's get into the show. Hello, gorgeous people. Welcome back to another episode. Today we're doing a Q&A style episode because I have a ton of questions that people have sent in to me over the months, and the list is just piling up, and I really want to get these answered. So I think I might start bringing them into the podcast so that we can start decreasing the amount of questions on this list. So today's question is centralized around how to attract abundance into my life or your life when you've been doing what you think is right, when you've been doing everything you think is right. So this lovely subscriber wrote in and said, I've been manifesting for 10 years. I learned from Bob Proctor and many others, but still more money is flowing out of my life than coming into my life. I really don't know why, but there still seems to be limitations I cannot grasp. Even when I'm believing that everything's possible and I'm doing robotic affirming and visualizing, I don't know why it's not working. So what is the missing piece to attract more abundance into my life? This is a great question and totally understandable. I imagine that many people are wondering this right now. So first thing I want to do, I think it's important to acknowledge the current state that we are in, the current circumstances that we are in. Across the globe, I imagine that everyone is going through different versions of economic strain, right? New Zealand certainly has a lot of economic strain right now. It's kind of nonsense what is happening, how expensive everything is, and how many people are struggling, to the point that many people are actually moving to Australia because the circumstances are better, the cost of living is lower, the money is way better, the careers are way better, and there's more options for people over there in order to be able to, number one, survive, but also, number two, have a comfortable life and be able to enjoy themselves. So that's a circumstance, right? It's a real circumstance that is occurring right now for New Zealanders all across the country. However, at the end of the day, it is just a circumstance, right? And you will have this too in your own country. You may be going through a different variation, a different tier, a different experience of that, but likely there is some kind of economic strain that's like putting a little bit of strain on your own life personally. It's just a circumstance. And I think it's really important that we recognize it, but we also don't make it mean something final for ourselves. We don't make it mean that it means we must suffer or we must sacrifice or we must be in a difficult position now because everyone else is, because that's the way it is right now. No. At the end of the day, it's just a circumstance, and your personal power is significantly more stronger than any circumstance, right? You still have so much power. You still have so much choice and decision to wake up in the morning and decide the thoughts you'll think, the states you'll inhabit, and the stories you'll tell. You have all full control over that. No one else has it over you, and no economy can dictate that for you. You decide every single day what you're going to think, how you're going to feel, what state you're going to be in, what stories you're going to tell, what assumptions you have. You still have all of that personal power. So for me, when I know that, and I decide, well, yes, this 3D circumstance is occurring and it's kind of sucky. You know, I still get shitty when I have to pay over $10 for a block of cheese when I don't really want it, but I need it for a specific recipe. Yeah, I can still have that experience, but it's just a circumstance, right? It does not mean anything, and I attach no meaning about me to it either. So when that occurs, I can come home and still recognize and move into my personal power of, actually, the rules still don't apply to me. Even though this is occurring, even though I'm getting triggered by this price of cheese right now, doesn't mean that I don't earn well, doesn't mean that I don't get to have a massively successful business that I love. Sure, it might mean in the moment I don't value the price of cheese as it is right now, but ultimately that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't affect anything in what I get to have because I am the one who decides what I get to have. I am the one who wakes up in the morning and chooses the thoughts that I think. I am the one who inhabits the state I want to inhabit, and I refuse to live on autopilot. I refuse to let 3D circumstances influence any way that I feel, because at the end of the day, it's me choosing every single thing. So I have personal power. I decide how I feel every single day. So that's the first thing I want you to think about when it comes to this, is acknowledging your personal power, because it comes down to you. It always comes down to you and what you decide and what you will wake up with and think. And my question is always, like, every time someone says this kind of question to me, different variations of it, like, I'm doing everything and it's still not working. Why isn't it changing? It's sort of like, to me, well, what's the alternative? Imagine if you didn't get what you wanted. Does that mean you're going to go back to disempowered thinking? There's something off there, right? There's something that isn't quite clicking in, and that's where to look. That's where you got to look in terms of what is actually going on under the surface. Why is it feeling like you are pushing so much, right? Why are you still wanting to default back into limited thinking? Why? What is going on there? And I think that being able to look at what is happening and really ask yourself, what is this? What's going on here? Like yesterday, I got an email from an amazing, lovely customer who shared some of her story with me. And I was like, I can sense resentment here, which there's nothing wrong with. And it's totally understandable for the circumstances. But since you're venting it to me, it kind of sounds like you're ready to let it go. You're ready to release it. So let's release it. Let's move through this. Let's get out of here and move back into having our personal power and deciding what the rules are for us, right? So I want you to really look and be honest with yourself. Is there a story you're telling? Is there something you're saying? Is there something you're thinking or assuming that is against you, that opposes you, that keeps you stuck, that keeps you in this difficult position of nothing is working, that keeps you in a place where you're like, where is it? Why don't I have it? Why am I missing out? Why is everyone doing better than me? Look at what is going on there. Investigate. Okay? Now, in terms of techniques, right? The thing I always say is that techniques must move you into a higher frequency. They must put you into a better state or mood. Otherwise, they don't work. As much as you love them, if you're not moving, if you're not shifting, they're not working, right? So I want you to be honest with yourself. Are you coming out of your techniques or your practices or whatever you're doing feeling elevated, feeling different than when you went in, or do you feel the same? If you feel the same, they're not working, right? They're not working. And often I see that a lot of people do techniques more as something to do, more as like a means to an end, like I did it, so it should work. But no, it's about shifting yourself dominantly into a higher frequency, into a higher vibration, into a higher energetic state. If you can't do that, if the techniques aren't allowing you to do that, or you're not able to move yourself through the technique, like use the technique to get you there, you've got to find something else. You have to find something that shifts your state and vibration. You have to look at what is actually going to help you move. What things in your life have helped you shift your vibration? When have you gone through an experience or gone to an event or had a moment where you were just in this beautiful high vibe state? That doesn't mean super excited or ecstatic or in these like real kind, I would say neurotic states. It just means you feel good. You feel really good. You could look at yourself and be super calm, but know that you are in a good vibration. Know that you are in a good place and you feel good overall. When was the last time you were there? And what were you doing when you were there? Look back in your past to help you find ways to access this vibration, this state, this frequency, because that is going to do a lot more good and get you a lot more further than trying to do techniques that aren't shifting you at all. You have to do everything to shift how you feel and what you're thinking and move yourself into that high vibration. That's the work. That's the role. That's how you manifest. Everything you do has to move you into a place where you feel lighter in your energy, right? Lighter. That's what a high vibration is. You're feeling lighter. And when you're lighter in your vibration and in your energy and in your frequency, it is a lot easier to be detached from the desire and from, more specifically, the want of the desire, the need for the desire. It is a lot easier to detach from that. And if you're in that place, it's very easy to move into like a total place of surrender and a total place of trust because you are in those higher frequencies. But if you're not there, often what you'll find is you're holding on tightly. You're gripping it to death. You want this thing and you've made it an idol. It's all you can think about. It's all you can be frustrated about. All your energy is directed towards it, but it is from a gripping, tight, strained energy. And that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, does it? Frustration doesn't feel good. Being in frustration for a long period of time does not feel good. Desiring something for a long period of time does not feel good. So our job becomes learning to surrender and release it. Release the need for it. Release the want of it. You have to get into a place where you don't feel so attached to it anymore. And the best way to do that is to get into a high vibration. And how you do that is you have to find a technique or some kind of method or some kind of practice that elevates your vibe. Recently, one of my high vibe activities that I've been doing is going out for hikes and walks every day on different tracks that I haven't been in my city. It has just thrown me into super high frequencies just from being on this walk, just from being somewhere new. I have always been quite the adventurer at heart, so getting out and going to places that I haven't been before and exploring is really tapping into that adventurer within me, which naturally raises my vibe. So see, you don't have to like sit down and do robotic affirming every damn day to get yourself into a high vibration. There are a lot of ways to get yourself there. Obviously, we want to be able to move ourselves there through our intention, but sometimes we need to just get out and get off the topic and go and do something else that is going to get us into that high vibration so that we can then return to the topic and come at it from a really uplifted and elevated place so that manifesting becomes a breeze. Because once you're in that vibration, manifesting is a breeze. The money coming in, the ideas coming in, the downloads coming in, it's a breeze. It's easy. It becomes something that is natural, something that is flowing, something that is joyful. But when we are struggling and straining, when we are pushing, when we are trying to do everything perfectly, but we're not tapping into the energy within, and we're not moving ourselves into a higher frequency, nothing can happen. Nothing's going to change because we're still feeling the same overall. We're still in the same energy, right? So that is what I recommend you to do and anyone else to do if you feel like you're doing everything, but it's still not working and you're looking for the missing piece. Remember, it all starts with you. You have all the personal power. You have all the power. You can do this. Okay, beautiful people. I hope you enjoyed that quick episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't gotten your hands on my free abundance vault, which has over 20 plus money mindset and manifestation resources, I highly recommend you go and sign up to that right now. It's free. Head to elisemcdowell.com/vault or head to the link in the show notes below, and I will see you in the next episode.